Yo, 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 yo. What's good with it, man? It's the homie Mac, music, art, culture, knowledge. Reporting live from the Dogon. Each one teach one, peace and love to all. It's a session of Mac Minutes, man. Live from the Dogon, as always. Well, not always, but most of the time, live from the Dogon. Hope everybody's keeping their spirits up. I hope everybody's handling their business, doing what they're supposed to do on their grown man, grown woman tip, all that. Yeah, so this is a session of Mac Minutes. And pretty much I want to talk about prostitution, pimping, simping, macking, all that stuff. More specifically, I'm going to talk about all those things on the spectrum, but more specifically, I want to talk to men. And I want to talk to them about tricking. Okay, I feel as though there are a lot of men who have a lot of rage. They're very upset. They're very quick to say, women are just stuck into commodity modification. Women are just stuck on materialism. Women just want to be Instagram models. They want to be GoFundMe princesses. Love is transactional, fiscally speaking. And I'm saying this with no judgment. I'm saying this not to be offensive to anyone, but I'm not trying to shame anyone, but I need men to understand the dichotomy, the delineation that exists between genuine connection, genuine sincere bonds with women, and things that are just pretty much transactional, and things that are not rooted in anything substantive like love or genuine connection. Okay, so what is tricking? There seems to be a whole semantical range of how people define tricking, but by my definition, and I think by popular definition, or I'm not even going to say popular definition, but I think I can get enough people to agree that tricking essentially is transactional. If there is an exchange of money, materialism, some type of service, some type of amenity in exchange for a woman's time and her body, you're tricking. You're a trick. And there's no shade there. I just think men need to understand their place and context of dealing with certain women. Okay? She did not want to spend time with you on her own volition. She didn't want to spend time with you. Well, she may have chose to spend time with you on her own volition, but it was conditional. It was predicated upon a transaction being made. Money, resources, some type of commodity, amenity. And I really think some guys, they engage these women, and all this boils down to the rules of engagement, but I'll go there a little bit later on. But they engage these women, I think, with hopes of, I'll give her this, I'll give her that, I'll give her the third, and this, that, and the third, and eventually she'll like me, and we will have a genuine connection and a genuine bond, and we can be together. Not saying this of all men, but I'm seeing this with a lot of men. I know men who have just kind of opened up to me and talked to me about different scenarios, and I'm kind of like, bruh, like, you have to understand the rules of engagement. If there has to be some type of physical transaction, I have to give you something outside of myself. I have to give you something I have to give you some type of object, or again, money, to get to spend time with you or to have sex with you. That's not a relationship. That's not like a like a relationship in the sense of, that's my significant other and we're going to get married, or we're married, or we're going to be together, whatever. It's not like that. That is a business transaction you are making. Okay? And I'm not even against tricking. Do you? If that's your thing, that's what you want to do, that's the lane in which you exist, do you. But I need you guys to stop shaming women, to stop disparaging women because you feel like, man, I just gave them something real, man. I gave them my time and my resources, and you know, she's out here for everybody, or I thought she loved me, and it's kind of like, bruh, no, like, I don't even know if this is a MACK minute session. This is a what do you call it when people go to therapy? This is a therapy session. But yeah, a lot of guys, I think it was, you know, this is something I always kept in mind. Let me see if I can find it. Dang it, I thought I took a picture of it. Hold up. This is something I kept in mind with dealing with women. This is a quote from Malcolm X. I can't remember exactly from where. I want to say the autobiography of Malcolm X. I'm not sure exactly, don't quote me, but I'm going to read this to you guys. Most men, again, this is Malcolm X speaking. Most men, the prostitutes felt were too easy to push around. Every day, these prostitutes heard their customers complaining that they never heard anything but griping from women and were being taken care of and given everything. The prostitute said that most men needed to know what the pimps knew. Malcolm X. Sit with that for a second. Again, I think a lot of men need to keep in mind the rules of engagement for women, and understand the distinction between, hold on one second. Yeah, a lot of men need to be aware of the rules of engagement and intent, and just the nature of their interaction with women. You know, there's a difference between, you know, taking care of a woman you love and you're in a relationship with, and there's a difference between paying somebody's bills, giving them money just so you can sleep with them. I mean, at that point, it's essentially a what is it? At this point, when it's about money and things are conditional and transactional physically, it's a it's a form of prostitution, you know. And I'm not slut shaming. I'm not shaming anybody. Do what you do. Live in your lane. But I need men to stop complaining about, oh, these girls, they just hoes. No. What did The Rock say? Know your role. Know the rules of engagement. I guess I feel like a lot of this boils down to a lot of men lack discipline when it comes to women. I think a lot of men think from the waist down when it comes to women. I think I've quoted this before, but there are some research scientists out of Ohio State. They said that that the average adolescent boy, his desire to have sex was stronger than his desire to eat food. So all his hormone synapses, all that stuff is just triggering. And I think as you get older, you don't necessarily grow up out. The intensity may kind of wane a little bit, but you don't necessarily grow out of the desire. I think some people learn how to control it. Some men know how to control it. But I think we live in this hypersexualized society. Female anatomy, a woman's body has been a commodity since the dawn of time. And it's no different now. And through the internet and technology, these images of hypersexuality, sexuality, are foisted on boys quicker, and it's more prodigious. It's ubiquitous. You know, it's everywhere. And I think, you know, a lot of men, again, I'm gonna say this again. A lot of men need to be aware. A lot of men aren't aware of their value or place in certain women's lives. You know, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of deception going on. A lot of people are playing games. But for the most part, you know, behavioral patterns don't lie. You should know where you stand with a woman. Um, I I can understand these guys' frustration to an extent though, because I think a lot of them weren't taught. You know, I think some of them just kind of got caught up in the idea if I just kind of do the things that she wants me to do, eventually, you know, I'll get something in return, which could be sex or a relationship, something. Um, does it come from a place of selfish intent for the most part? I would say yeah, it does. Um, but I think a pimp from Oakland told me this a long time ago. He said, in a world full of tricks, be a magician. Take that however you want to. But the way I processed it was just, you know, be a thinking man. A lot of men, unfortunately, are just totally controlled by their penises. You know, and, you know, a lot of their thought life is centered around the pursuit of sex. You know, and I've known men who thought their value to a woman or their interaction was more than what it really was, and they didn't really understand that it was transactional, and they've gone off and killed these women, gone off to abuse these women, even went as far to kill themselves, you know. And I guess all this stuff boils down to psychology, boils down to really listening to a woman talk, boils down to really trying to understand a woman, you know. And I think a lot of guys kind of skip over that. You know, a lot of guys are so sex driven. I don't think they necessarily take a deep breath and see what's really going on. You know, but again, if you're a trick, be a trick. Just understand the rules of engagement. Don't get upset. What they say, if you don't hate the player, hate the game. Hate the game. You can't be mad. Know your place. Know your place. I think one thing I've come to realize, like, everybody doesn't want to have, everybody doesn't want to be a wife. Everybody doesn't want to be a husband. You know, but if you have that desire to be a wife or to be a husband, you have to pay more attention to how you're moving out here. And you have to understand the nature of your interaction with a man or a woman. You know, because a lot of people out here with these false hopes, man, just buying into something that's not even real. It's a fantasy. Again, this isn't even a Mac Minutes. I think this is an intervention. Share this with somebody, man. Share this with the homies. But yeah, I think a lot of men center themselves too much around sex. Just plain and simple. Center themselves entirely way too much around sex. There are countries where prostitution is legal. Let me see what we got. Bear with me 1 second. You got. Dang it. Okay. You got the Netherlands, you got Germany, you got Greece, you got Denmark, you got Austria, you got Switzerland. Yeah. and I noticed that I think that the aforesaid countries, I believe that their rate of rape is actually lower than a lot of countries that where prostitution is not legal. And I think that's kind of an interesting dichotomy. I guess there's a correlation between access to sex and rape, but I don't know. That's not to say that, if we just make prostitution legal, then nobody will be raped. Because rape, as we know, psychologically is about a power dynamic. But yeah, I just think I think a lot of men need to sit down and have honest conversations with their boys. And I think a lot of mothers need to have honest conversations with their sons and their daughters. Yeah, and men, conversations with their sons and their daughters as well, not just their boys. Because I just think a lot of people now, like, they don't know their roles. They don't understand the premise of engaging someone of the opposite sex and, you know, understanding the nature of their bond, whether it be a friendship, something romantic, whether it be purely transactional. These conversations need to be had because a lot of people are growing up with these false pretenses and have a very myopic understanding. And ultimately, they feel like they were deceived. And I think the thing about deception is you never really know you're being deceived. A lot of times. That's why you have to ask questions and think. Pay attention to behavior patterns. And honestly, not lie to yourself. A lot of people lie to themselves. But it's the homie MACK, music, art, culture, knowledge, signing out from the Dogon. Each one, teach one, peace and love. The next single, Hydroxychloroquine, produced by DJ Cass, will be my next visual off the Lysol and Toilet Paper project. Lysol and Toilet Paper. Shout out to Jack Brown. He's gonna pull up to the Dogon later this week. Jack Brown's my engineer. I need to get this project done. I got a lot going on, homie. School, work. But we got 2 more tracks. We got 1 more session. We're going to get this thing done. Lysol and Toilet Paper. Each one, teach one, peace of love. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. Follow the movement on Instagram @MackTV_82. Signing out, man.